Hello and very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the board exam strategy session for your biology exam for your class 12th. I hope all of you are putting up well with your preparation and going for by the revision plans that you have made, all the notes that you have constructed all through the year. Of course, Aditi, we are going to start. Right, so in this session, basically, we are going to have a bird eye view of all the topics that are essentially important, basically both the same things, important to have your attention. Okay, you're required not to miss them at all. Okay, you're required to go through those topics and revise all the notes that you have made, practice them. Okay, we are going to look up those topics. Also, I'm going to tell you about the important diagrams that you need to focus on, about the important summarized tables mentioned in your NCERT book. All that also we are going to discuss. Okay, other than that, if there is any kind of doubt that you guys have regarding your preparation, regarding your revision, feel free to ask that. Please understand one thing, that this session is not a kind of an explanatory session. We are not going to explain the stuff here. Okay, we are going to understand the utility of the topics. So I hope you've understood what we are going to discuss in this particular session. Is that so, guys? So I welcome all of you once again, Aditi, Mansi, Sandhya, Priyanshi, Raj Lakshmi, and Rani. Welcome all of you. Okay, so let's get started. I am not going to get more cliche into asking how is the preparation and all. I hope you are rocking with that. Right. So starting with the session, here is your question pattern, right? This particular slide is telling you about the different types of question that you get in the exam. Okay, we can divide them into 4 sections depending on the marks distribution, right? So your section A deals with very short answers, right? You are not required to write the whole description in here, but yes, they are very much important because you write it and you get it. They are scoring people. Okay, now here you have only 1 mark per question, right? And such questions will be 5 in number, so straight away you get 5 marks. Is that such a big deal? No. Okay, then talking to your about your section B. Section B consists of small short answer questions. Okay, and these short answers are containing, they are actually having 2 marks each. Okay, and such questions will be 7 in number and they will give you 14 marks state. Now in this section B type of your answer questions in here, you are required to give the straight answer. The answer can have 2 to 3 lines. Okay, basically they are going to be asking you about some definitions. They might be asking you about some function of a particular thing. We shall discuss that in a small while. Okay, but then you are not supposed to answer a descriptive thing here. Okay, then we have section C. Section C also has your short answer types question, but here the marks have increased, right? So in section C, you have 3 marks each. Okay, and the number of questions will be 12 in here. Okay, the number of questions will be 12, and this gives you 36 marks in all. Right? Okay, section D is a lovely section. It's long answers, and I hope because you've been studying biology forever now, you all love writing long answers, isn't it? I mean, writing long answer is a deal, man, isn't it? So this is your favorite. This was my favorite section, and I hope this is your favorite section as well, right? Here you have 5 marks, and you will be getting 3 such questions, 15 marks altogether. Okay, so in all we have 27 questions, 70 marks. Easy to get. It's not such a big deal. Right. Now, moving on further with your things. Now, let's try to understand what is going to be the design of your question paper. Okay. There are going to be questions which are under the category of remembering. In these questions, you are required to reproduce all the facts and figures you have learned. Okay. All that you have learned through the whole year of your hard work, you are simply required to put it back again. So it's a remembering type of questions. Understanding types of questions require you to understand a given situation, okay, analyze that situation, right, and then continue with your answers. Okay.
डबल आवाज आ रही है
स्टार्टिंग में ही अब नहीं आएगी, वो ये लगा हुआ था, अरे ये लगा हुआ था
अभी निकला है
हाँ okay. Then there will be some application based questions, there will be some high order thinking skills as well, and then evaluation questions. Okay, now this is for your CBSE board, Shyam, right? Okay, moving on. Now, important thing, let's get to understand what are the contents of your book, which I hope you know already, and what are their weightage. Okay, right? Now, if you talk about weightage wise, genetics and evolution, which most of us have a difficult time in understanding. Okay, so this particular chapter has the maximum weightage that happens to be your 18 marks. We do not have value based questions from this year. Okay, क्या करना है, क्या करना है?
मुझे लगता है YouTube वाला भी इसमें आ रहा होगा इस्तेमाल आवाज, क्योंकि जो YouTube पे बाद में जा रही है ना, और जो बोल रहे हो ना YouTube की भी आवाज आ रही है.
तो अब क्या करूं? होने दो यार, अब ठीक है, टाइम निकल जाएगा नहीं तो मेरा, ठीक. Okay, I'm sorry for that. There was some technical glitch at my end. I hope I'm audible to you guys, and I'm visible as well. Is that so? Please come up with some yes, yes, yes. Am I audible to you guys? Right? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Aditi. So I was telling you about the weightage. Okay, so genetics and evolution, this particular chapter of yours happens to be very heavy. Okay, it contains 18 marks. Then your reproduction chapter and your and biology in human welfare, both of them are placed with equal weightage. Both of them have 14 and 14 marks each. Then coming on to another same type of chapter is your ecology and environment, and this is an easy chapter of your particular syllabus. This comes in a goodie bag. Okay, 14 marks is a deal in here. Okay, because you do get marks in this particular chapter very easily. Okay. All right. Then coming to your biotechnology and its application, this chapter has 10 marks, although, but sometimes it's little bit tricky to understand this chapter. Okay. Now I'm going to explain to you but sometimes it's little bit tricky to understand this chapter. Okay, now coming on to your revision plan. Okay, let's talk about some of your revision plan. So all of you know that your exam happens to be on 15th March, right? Okay, and if you remember a bit of your date sheet, you do not really have much time to spend on revision before 15th March. Okay, why is that so? That is because on 12th of March, okay, on 12th of March, you already have chemistry, okay, and on 15th you have biology, right? So for 2 days, I am not going to count that you will have the whole revision going on in those 2 days. Okay. So what you have to do is you actually have to spend time in February. Okay. You have to count February as the month for your revision. Okay. So I suggest today is 22nd. Okay. There's still time. You can make some sort of timetable. Okay, you can make some sort of timetable apart from other subjects that you are dealing with. You are dealing with physics, you might be dealing with maths if you have maths along with biology. Okay, you can have some hours restricted to your revision. And because we have seen already that genetics and evolution, it comes with great weightage, so this should be your priority. Okay, this should be your priority for your revision plan. Okay, then after that, start with your biotechnology. Okay, although biotechnology doesn't have much weightage, it has only 10 marks assigned to it, but when you read it after genetics, it gives you an advantage. Okay, it gives you an advantage in understanding the concepts of biotechnology, right? So please make sure that once you've finished your revision in genetics chapter, you jump on to biotechnology, and then you can start with reproduction revision, ecology, and finally the biology in human welfare. Okay, so this is something that normally we follow in order to make sure that our revision goes in a smooth manner. All right, okay. And please understand that I am focusing on the term revision and revision, lot and lot. Why? Because this is not the time you are going to be learning stuff. Okay, this is the time when you are going to be revising the notes you have made all the year and the concepts you have memorized all the year. You understand my point? So again, if you are feeling that you have left some chapter, if you are feeling you have left some concepts and you haven't understood that particular point, please make sure you do it in the month of February. Do not leave it for your March thing. Okay, it will be taken out of your hand otherwise. All right, okay, moving on now. So starting with your chapter number 1, we are going to discuss important topics from all of your chapters. So have patience and please listen. Okay. All right. So first chapter deals in reproduction in organism. This is a small chapter. If you've been through your book of NCERT. Okay. This chapter, essentially, you need to prepare important topics such as types of asexual reproduction, which are listed in your book as binary fission, sporulation, budding, gemule formation, fragmentation, vegetative propagation in plants. Okay, you are most likely to get some very short answer or short answer type question in this particular chapter of yours. Okay, and please make sure you very religiously follow NCERT. Okay, this book is going to be your guide for your board exam. Okay, moving on to your second chapter, which is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Now, honestly, this is one and the beautiful chapter, okay, because it comes with a lot of diagrams. Understand? It comes with a lot of, processes that you get simply involved in those processes. Okay. Now, starting with your details of the chapter, a structure of flower, you need to know the diagram, you need to know the details of the structure of flower. You can expect to have a short answer as well as a long answer question, so prepare it for a long answer question. Okay, if you are preparing a long answer for a particular topic, that is going to help you in writing the answer for the short answer type questions as well. Okay, because if you do it for long answer, it's done in a bunch, right? Then moving on to the processes: microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis, structure of pollen grain, structure of ovule and female gametophyte, types of ovules. Okay, please make sure you do their diagrams and you do the theory according to your long answer concept. Okay, prepare it in a notes manner, write some points. Okay, and you are simply going to make it, you're simply going to reproduce it in your answer sheets. Okay, then coming on to pollination, favorite topic of your board exam. You are likely to get a question in here. So again, prepare it for your short answer type question and you can extract out very short answer again. Okay. Outbreeding devices. This particular topic has been asked repeatedly for your short answer section. So please make sure you do not leave the emasculation, bagging, and all those procedures mentioned, right? Important topics they are. Okay. Pollen pistil interaction and the incompatibility devices. You are very likely to get a short answer type of question from here. Okay. Double fertilization, the diagrammatic representation of the same. Prepare a long answer from this particular portion. Now, coming on to your post-fertilization event, here is a deal, okay? Here, you need to understand the development of embryo. You need to understand the types of endosperm development in angiosperms. You need to know the diagram of monocot and dicot seeds. You need to know about some deviations such as your apomixis, polyembryony, and parthenocarpy. Prepare both of them for long answers. If you do that, you can easily write a short answer based on these concepts. Okay. Right, now moving on with your next chapter, everyone. Human reproduction. Again, this is again an artistic particular chapter of yours. You get a lot of things to draw in here as well. Okay, starting which monocot diagram we should study. Well, Shri Harin, you in your NCERT book, there is a section they have drawn for maize grain, right? So please go for by the maize diagram. All right, okay. Muskan Chaudhary, I suggest both. I suggest you to practice previous year papers and as well as for the sample papers as well, because the more you practice, the more you get an idea as to how to answer the questions. You understand that? So please make sure you go for by both. Okay. Now, male and female reproductive organs, you need to know their diagrams well and good, because sometimes they may not ask you to draw it. Sometimes they draw it for you and they can ask you to label that particular diagram. They can ask you the function of the labeled parts. Okay. So it's not that you only have to draw it. It's that you need to know the parts as well. Okay, this is one important topic from human reproduction. Okay, you need to understand the structural details and the functions of primary sex organs, accessory sex organs, and glands. Now, moving on to the gamete formation, please make sure you know the flow chart which is drawn in your NCERT books for spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Okay, sometimes you get it for your short answer, 3 marks. And if you simply draw the table, that you simply draw the flow chart, you get the marks. Okay, then important is the menstrual cycle and its hormonal regulation. You remember there is a diagram in your book. There is a graphical diagram in your book, right? And there they have shown you the whole menstrual cycle in the graph. You remember that? If you've been through your NCERT, please say yes. Important, this should be your favorite photo. Okay, make it a favorite photo of yours and make it a wallpaper till you give your exam. Okay, that's really important, so please make sure that is not left in any scenario. Okay, yes, exactly, you got it, that perfect. Now moving on, we have diagrams of sperm and ovum. Do it for short answer. Okay, gestation and placenta function, please make sure you study that. It's not very much, it's written in a very precise manner. Okay, then parturition and lactation and hormonal regulation of the same, prepare it for a short answer question. What I'm saying is sometimes the diagrams can be drawn for you. The question can have the diagram and the question can ask you to label that diagram. Question can ask you to write the functions of the label parts. You understand that? So, in any case, you need to know the NCERT diagrams very well. The NCERT diagrams should not miss your sight in any case. Okay. Now they will not ask you to draw the graph as such, but if you learn by the graph, then you get a better idea that in which phase what is happening. Okay, that in which phase, because in that graph, Shri Harin, the hormones are also mentioned at the same time, right? They are showing you the hormonal surge as well as the phase. So you can relate both the things and it's done for you. Okay. Now moving on to your next chapter, an easy chapter, which is reproductive health. Please make sure you read the whole particular chapter of yours from a perspective of short answers. So, for example, you need to know about reproduction and child health care programs. You need to know about the merits and demerits of amniocentesis. You need to know about contraception and medical termination of pregnancy, right? And assisted reproductive technology. Prepare it for short answer type question. So, expect one or two questions from this particular topic as well. Okay. Moving on, and we now come to the big boss chapter, which is genetics and evolution. This is going to take time, okay? The revision of this topic takes time, trust me, right? So that is why I'm telling you to start your revision from this chapter first. It's a time taking boss chapter. Okay, now in here, I would suggest that you meet Mendel. Okay, when you open this particular chapter of yours, you see Mendel there. Spend time with Mendel. Okay, spend some quality time with Mendel and prepare that topic for a long answer. Okay, you must know what Mendel did in a monohybrid cross. You must know what Mendel did in a dihybrid cross, and you must know what are the principles, what are the laws that guy has given you. Okay, and sometimes this question comes in a long answer and your life is sorted. I mean, Mendel can help you get 5 marks straight. Okay, a big respect. 5 marks straight to the guy. Okay, now coming on to the deviation from Mendelism, I mean, right? Yes, we do have deviations. So you should not forget the incomplete dominance, the co-dominance drama, multiple allelism of your blood group, okay, inheritance of the same, and pleiotropy, which is recently added in your syllabus, right? Prepare that topic also for your long answer type questions, so that once it is done, you can write the short answer also from the particular answer of yours. Okay, now coming on to the chromosomal theory of inheritance and the concept of genes, you can expect to have a very short answer from this particular topic. Okay, now is the time that you read a bit about sex determination. And guess what? There is another guy, right? There are two guys in this chapter. There's another guy called Morgan. You cannot just complete genetics without meeting Morgan. I mean, Morgan is equally important. Okay. So you need to meet Morgan in here. And the sweetheart of Morgan was Drosophila, right? You need to know the crosses of Drosophila in your NCERT book. They are drawn. There are two crosses drawn. Please make sure you go through them. Otherwise, Drosophila may be, feeling bad about it. You might expect to have a short answer question from here, from this chapter. Okay. Then, already told you about the crosses. Now, Mendelian disorder and chromosomal disorders. Please make sure you know about all the types of chromosomal abnormality, like, for example, your Turner syndrome, Klinefelter's, and your Down syndrome. None of this is left. Okay, so please, what type of question they can ask in chromosomal theory of inheritance is that how do you relate the behavior of chromosome with that of genes? Okay, what happens during the cell division that you can say that genes are actually present on the chromosome? You understand the relationship between chromosome and genes in this particular topic. Okay, pedigree analysis. Don't tell me you hate it, right? I mean, totally lovable thing. Pedigree analysis, expect a long answer question. Okay. Now, what happens in pedigrees? Pedigree is a tasty food. Okay. So sometimes we also have to eat it, so get the good marks. We can divide our pedigree analysis into two forms, right? Okay. So we have some either autosomal, okay? They can be either autosomal or they can be X-linked, isn't it? Getting some ideas? Yeah. You're getting it back. If you talk about further in autosomal and X-linked, please make sure that whenever you are looking for, if you are looking to some pedigree and if it happens to be from autosomal, you have almost 50-50 ratio of affected individuals. Okay. If it is X-linked, you will have most males affected. Okay. Right. So it's just not for dogs, sometimes it's good for humans as well. They give you marks. Now, moving on to further, autosomal can further be of two types. It can be dominant, okay? It can be recessive. You understand? What am I writing? Yes. And same thing applies for your X-linked pedigree too. Now, let me tell you a secret here. The key to understand pedigree is that you have to revise it like infinite times. Okay. The more you practice pedigree questions, the more you get to know how to understand them. Okay. So please do not leave your pedigree. Sometimes they do come and they can give you a hard time. Do not let that happen. Right. Okay. Moving on further, your next chapter, molecular basis of inheritance. Okay. This is a typical chapter where there are many chances of long answers, chances of short answers, sometimes very short answers as well. Okay, sometimes there are very short answers as well. Okay, now starting with the chapter. In this particular chapter, you get to meet many guys. You start with Griffith, then you meet three people who repeated Griffith's experiment. Then you meet somebody called as Hershey and Chase, right? I mean, this particular chapter is a whole group of scientists. Okay, you need to know them. Okay, you need to know them. I mean, these are your BFFs. Okay, hashtag marks for lives. So do not leave these people. Okay, you need to understand the experiments that included various experiments for the search of genetic material. DNA as a genetic material, it was proved in which experiment? Prepare that for long answer. Okay. A structure of DNA. Remember the beautiful DNA? You need to know who gave that particular structure. You need to know about the structure of RNA and the packaging of DNA. Remember the nucleosome? Okay. Please make sure those things are prepared again for a long answer basis. Okay. Then comes to the biggest principle, that is central dogma. Okay, and I know people have hard time in understanding replication of DNA. I mean, why are you replicating? Then Messelson and Stahl's experiment, transcription, modification of mRNA in eukaryotes, translation. It's a big processes. Big in the sense because when you understand them, they involve many enzymes. Okay, they involve many concepts, right? So please, when you are doing this topic, please make sure that you are assuming as that you are sitting in the amazing jungle. There is nobody around you. You are the only human surviving. There is nobody who can distract you. And if you don't learn that, you will never be rescued from amazing jungle. Okay. If you want to be rescued from that forest, you have to read Central Dogma. Read it like that. I'm sure you'll do good. Okay, so this is again, you need to prepare it for long answer. All right, so this is your Amazon forest. You are stuck in Amazon forest. Read Central Dogma and you are going to be rescued. Okay, coming on to your genetic code features, right? Contribution of scientists in that, regulation of gene and leg operon, again human and rice genome project, and DNA fingerprinting. Please make sure you understand all of these on the basis of your long answer question. Okay, moving on to your next, which is evolution. Now, this is a fun chapter. Okay, fun biological history. Understand? So you need to be cool here. Okay, now theories of evolution, your Urey and Miller's experiment. You need to know about something very important, which is evidences, the comparative anatomy. You won't trust me, but that's true. Your homologous and analogous organs, these are the darlings of your CBSE exam. Okay, so these are the darlings. I'm going to make a heart in here. You need to know about homologous, analogous, and vestigial organs. You should know about embryological and molecular paleontology. Okay, do we have to remember huge flowchart in evolution? If you can, that's going to be the cherry on the top, right? Okay, talking about the guys in evolution, that is Lamarck and Darwin, you need to know what they told you. So Lamarckism and Darwinism, please make a comparative study of them. Okay, you need to make a comparative study of both of these theories and understand what is the meaning of natural selection, genetic drift, geographical and reproductive isolation, variation in gene pool, and adaptive radiation. What is Big Bang? Big Bang is something that happened because of which we are you have to give board exam. I already gave. It's a bad thing. Moving on, we'll be talking about Hardy-Weinberg principle then. So importantly, please prepare it for your long answer. Okay, and human evolution, right? Okay, moving on to your next chapter. Okay, this is easy chapter. Biology in human welfare is easy chapter. This is a goodie bag in your syllabus, right? Human health and disease. This chapter, you need to know about different parasites that are causing human diseases. You need to understand their life cycle. For example, you have plasmodium there. Okay, so you need to know that. And how do you control it? You also need to know the ways of controlling. Okay, prepare it for a long answer. Then basic concepts of immunology. You should know about the innate immunity. You should know about your adaptive immunity. What are the features? How both of them differ from each other. Okay, and some autoimmune disorders. Okay, cancer, HIV/AIDS. Need to know about the guy HIV and its life cycle and drugs and their abuse. This is easy, right? I'm not going to spend time here. Read it and get your marks and enjoy your life. This is easy. Moving on to the strategies for enhancement in food production. Okay, what about chemistry? Chemistry is cool. It's doing better. Okay, now here you need to know about plant breeding, economic values, biofortification, and improved varieties of foodstuff. Okay, prepare it for a short answer question. You can write a very short answer if they ask. Okay. All right. Now, if they ask generally about HIV, so they are going to ask you about the life cycle of HIV. I mean, how is HIV, which is basically an RNA virus, how is it making DNA in the cell? So you should know about reverse transcription. Okay. Then you need to know that why is it difficult to control that infection, right? Because it's basically targeting the T lymphocytes. That's why it's difficult to control the infection. Okay. So that's what you need to understand there. What are the two types of immune responses? You okay, so in here in the immune responses, basically you can mention about your allergy responses, which are also immune responses. You can talk about the responses mediated by your lymphocytes, basically your B and T lymphocytes. Understand? Okay, read about tissue culture, read about soma clones, read about inbreeding depression, read about single cell protein. Read a lot, it will help you, and you will get a short answer question. Write it and kill the question. Apiculture and animal husbandry, again you get a short answer from here. Okay, moving on to the next chapter of yours, which is microbes in human welfare. Now here you need to love the tiny people. Okay, love those tiny guys who can give diseases and who can help you out as well. So you should know the role of microbes in food processing. You should know the role of microbes in industrial production. Okay. You should know about the sewage treatment, how they are helping you out, right? Biocontrol and biofertilizers. You should know about the antibiotics. Basically, there is a chart. There are many tables in this diagram. Sorry, in this particular chapter of yours. So read that and your life will be sorted, as far as I believe. Okay. Moving on to your biotechnology. Now, do you really like this chapter? I mean, say yes, because this is something that gives you time to think. I mean, wow, really? You can cut the DNA. You've got scissors of cutting DNA. You've got vectors. DNA is multiplying like a mad person. Okay, and you are turning things into things. So this chapter is a sorcery. Okay, which is not. It's not exactly, right? Yeah, if PCR is there and electrophoresis is there and whatnot. In fact, remember that guy, agrobacterium? Do you remember that guy, agrobacterium tumefaciens? I mean, that is natural genetic engineer. I mean, that person is giving you some serious life goals. Trust me, agrobacterium is laughing. I mean, I am a bacteria, I can do that. Okay, so you need to understand the concepts of rDNA technology in here. You should know about the cloning and expression vectors. Okay, you should know about the TI plasmid, you know about the cosmids, phage vectors, and the enzymes involved in this particular technology. Okay, how to remember names like streptococcus. Okay, if you ask me seriously, I will tell that keep these names for your friends if they don't mind. I mean, if you have four friends, make somebody call them as like, hey, streptococcus, how are you doing? Agrobacterium, don't mind. So you'll remember that. Okay, you can expect to have very short answers as well as short answers from this particular topic. Denaturation is the breaking of DNA, okay, or maybe of protein when their primary structure does not exist in the functional form. Okay, steps of DNA isolation. You should know about the electrophoresis. You should know about the insertion of gene of interest in the vector. You must know about the selection medium. Okay, about the selectable markers, how to make your host competent, biolistics. Trust me, all of these are going to give you good time in answering these type of questions. PCR, summarized process of rDNA technology, downstream processing, all that. Moving on to your biotechnology and its application quickly. Application of biotechnology in BT crops, RNAi, and monoclonal antibodies, diagnostics, transgenic animals, biopatents. Please make sure you read that. You are likely to get short answers from this particular chapter. Okay, moving on to your ecology now. Quickly, I'm going to go through the topics in here. First chapter is your organisms and populations. Please make sure you know about the difference between habitat and niche. What are the different ecological adaptations? That's a very good reading point actually. Population interaction. You should know about Gauss's exclusion principle, resource partitioning. Okay, and guess what? This is important. Very very important. I'm making stars in here. You should know the growth curves which are J and S shaped. Okay, this question has repeatedly come. This is important. If I'm saying this, trust me. You should know about the birth and death rates, and you won't believe age structures. Age structures are also important. Okay, now moving on. Ecosystem, please make sure you understand the patterns, components, productivity, and decomposition. These are the parts that you understand, the functionality of your ecosystem. Must know about the energy flow, pyramid of number, biomass, and energy. This is very easy, and it straight away gives you 5 marks if it comes. So this is very easy, okay? This is all goodie thing. It's a goodie bag. This particular chapter is a goodie bag in syllabus. Okay. Then we have nutrient cycling. Okay, then ecological succession and ecological services. Do it, read it, write it, kill the paper, come back home, winner. Okay, then biodiversity and conservation. This is child's play. I'm gonna write it here. This is child's play because once you read it, it's sit in here and that's it. So please make sure you know about the concept, patterns, and conservation of biodiversity. Sacred groves, in situ and ex situ conservation. But one thing I want to tell you, read the NCERT for this particular chapter very thoroughly, very, very thoroughly. Sometimes you get the question and you do not know where is it coming from. And when you come back home and you open your book, it is there. Okay, it is there. So please make sure you do not just leave the books, that particular NCERT for any reason. Okay, now, moving on to environmental issues, must know about the pollution of different types: air pollution, water pollution, solid waste pollution, what is the greenhouse effect, what is ozone depletion, and what are the different conventions we are having in order to curb them. Okay, you do not have to learn the data given, Anushka, not at all. Okay, you must know about the concepts that's out. Important diagrams. So I'm going to go take you through the different diagrams basically. So for example, structure of ovule and anther, male and female reproductive system already told. No, you don't have to learn the data. I already told you this. Structure of sperm, you should know. Events of menstrual cycle, important. Structure of DNA, mRNA, tRNA, and nucleosome, important. Population growth curves and age pyramid, important. Okay, and nutrient cycles. No, I will not tell you to skim through the chapters because, no, you cannot take chance, can you? No, life is not about taking chance, Muskan. Now, these are some famous diagrams from your the NCERT. Okay, now, can you see here? There is one pattern. They have drawn a diagram, okay, and the labeling is done on one hand. Okay, so please make sure that your labeling is done perfectly on one side. If it is not possible, then you can have 2 or 3 labels coming out on the other hand, but follow a particular order of your labeling. Okay, right. Then moving on to different diagrams. So we have this particular diagram of your female gametophyte. Then we have anther in here. Okay, then we have structure of sperm in here. Then we have, this is what I was telling you, this is the flow chart. This is your flow chart diagram of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Okay, then we've got a nucleosome in here. We've gotten Orion-Millard's diagram, antibody diagram, and your vector in here. This is your table about the improvement chapter. Okay, right, you should do it for the right side, Muskan. Okay, labeling should be on the right side. Right, another table from the same diagram of yours. This is from ecology, telling you about different interactions. So this also is important, everyone. Okay, and now finally, please make sure that you must refer to NCERT. Other books that you want to go for is fine. I am not stopping you from referring to other books, but ultimately, for the last minute revision, NCERT is must. Okay. Practice your diagrams, draw it all over your home. Okay. Draw it on the walls. Nobody will tell you anything. Okay. But do practice your diagrams. Solve previous year questions because that gives you confidence. Okay, it builds your confidence and you feel happy about yourself, so do it. Okay, also please make sure that you don't think much. Okay, have a good sleep. Do not starve yourself of sleeping. Eat good food. Okay, laugh like you are laughing right now. And trust me, you all are going to slay your exam, right? Because you've studied the whole year, you're confident about it, you've been hardworking. So have a trust in yourself, have believe in your mind's ability. Okay, do not sleep for 13 hours. 13 hours is much. Sleep for 8 hours. Okay, all right, so I'm going to take your leave now with much of all the best to you. Pass with flying colors. Make yourself and us and your parents and everyone proud. Okay, so bye bye everyone. It was a nice session with you. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.